Did we get some resolution in our resolution? Hello everyone and welcome to RotD Review of the Day, and today I am taking a look at the 2017 movie The Endless. Now, this is not a sequel to Resolution, which is a movie that I reviewed a little while ago, a little less than a month ago. However, both movies, although stand alone fairly well, leave more questions than answers, but they are good companion pieces because they also answer each other's questions to a degree. The best way to really think about this one is you don't need to have watched Cheers to be able to watch Frasier, but if you had watched Cheers when you watched Frasier, you would get a little bit more of the character backstory and a little bit more of an understanding of where they're coming from. That's the best I can really do. It's not, there is some storyline overlap and some questions of one answered within each other. So, as far as whether to go into this one completely cold or to watch Resolution beforehand, I really couldn't say. I watched Resolution beforehand, obviously. My friend that recommended this movie to me watched this one first. And it seems like we both got a lot out of it. So as far as one method being better than the other, I really couldn't say. However, what I will say is that both movies are absolutely worth watching. I was very thrilled with The Endless. I thought that it was a great, great movie. I don't know necessarily about like true horror. It has a little bit more of a Lovecraftian kind of feel to it as far as an established mythos, and a little bit less on the scares and just a little bit more on the interesting, darker mystery side of things. But I really, really enjoyed that. And to get into some more detail, let's get into the categories. As always, 4 different categories, each one worth up to 25 points for a total possible score of 100 points. And the plot of this one follow the 2 characters of Aaron and Justin, who you in Resolution met very briefly when when the main character of Resolution came across the cult members that were dressed in the white shirts and so forth, talking about interplanetary whatevers. That was those characters, and this movie fast forwards some bit in time and has them outside of the commune, cult, what have you. They're living in the real world. They manage to escape, and they are going to therapy and working terrible jobs and just basically trying to scrape their way through life. Now, in this scraping through life, one of the characters is itching to go back home, or at least visit it. He is tired of the scraping and the just getting his tired of the grind of life, and he remembers his time on the cult commune being one of simplistic pleasure. There was some work involved, but it was basically just it was a nice place that he remembered. And as far as the other elements of that commune goes, the rituals and the castration and the potential Jim Jones vibe from it, he doesn't really recall a whole lot of that. It's mostly what he's been told and not experienced. What he experienced, albeit the earlier stages of what you might consider to be a cult, it was pleasant, and he kind of wants to revisit that. So begrudgingly, in order to try and placate his friend, the other character agrees to a one-day visit, go back, say hi, and go from there. And that's what happens. And they go from there, and very mysterious things start happening all around them. Rules of laws and physics and time and so forth start kind of bending, and I don't really want to go into any more than that for fear of giving anything away. Not that I really could without getting into a very, very, very long explanation, but suffice it to say, it was absolutely worth watching. I loved the plot of this one. It had some very, very unique, interesting elements to it that once the ball really got rolling with this and the characters and the situation that they were in, I was captivated, and the way that they fleshed everything out I thought was beautiful. So I gave the plot 19 out of 25 points. I was very impressed with this one. The Intent, I gave 21 out of 25. This was not trying to be a full-fledged horror, scary, gore-fest movie, but this was trying to be a darker mystery and with intriguing elements and intriguing characters and intriguing questions for the audience to rattle around in their head. And by gum, I had some good questions rattling around in my head: moral questions, ethical questions, questions of character. If I were in their shoes, how would I feel about blah? If I were looking at the fork in the road that they were looking at, which direction would I take? And it was really good about making me think about that and analyze that. And discuss it with my friends and what they thought. So very good all around there. And as far as the mystery goes, I loved how it unfolded itself and presented the elements of it. It didn't spoon feed it to you, but I would say that it did deliver, even if it didn't answer all the questions you might have. I thought it did deliver a satisfying level of explanation. That's about where I'll end the sentence out of fear of giving anything else away, which I am definitely not wanting to do. So yeah, 21 out of 25 for The Intent. The acting, I gave a 19 out of 25. These were really solid performances all around. The members of the cult community were very, very well established. They had that level of creepiness to them while also being pleasant, and they were able to balance that very well to provide that level of contrasting, conflicting thoughts within the characters, and I thought that they delivered that extraordinarily well. The two principal characters of Aaron and Justin, I really, really liked. The actors of Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson, I guess they use the real names, were very solid performances, and I really believed where each one of them was coming from. When there wasn't really a whole lot of like manipulation of one another necessarily, but there was some loose ethical guidance that was going on in the greater good kind of situation, and I really liked how they played that out. Without going into any kind of specifics, I will say that I already said there is some storyline plots overlap with this and Resolution, and all I'll really say on that is the acting performances of that overlap were great, and I loved every minute of it. Watching, no more than that. The technical, I gave a 22 out of 25. Stunning all around. This was a fantastic blending of very simple editing tricks meeting with very complex CG to ultimately deliver what was an amazing storytelling opportunity. I don't think that if you had a character just sitting in a wingback chair trying to explain or tell the story, it would have taken a lot of storytelling verbally to get across what they were able to communicate very easily visually. It was masterful in how it presented the information to the audience, in both making it interesting but confusing, and then not going a whole lot further than that, but taking it just that half step further to go from confusing to revealing. And the technical aspects of that, from the camera work to the special effects to the practical effects to the editing, all played into that, and I was just super impressed with the technical aspects of this movie. 22 out of 25. Very, very, very impressive. So that gives us a total of 81 out of 100 points. Would I recommend this movie? Obviously, I would. This was great cinema. It was a great film all around. If you like mysteries, if you like things that'll make you scratch your head and make you think and make you talk about it with your friends, I can't recommend this movie enough. It is not so abstract that it winds up in like Eraserhead territory, so you don't have to worry about being an academic of the film and poring over every frame to try and glean something from it. But it's kind of in between. It has that kind of Hollywood look and feel to it while also not spoon-feeding you information. And I really, really dug it. So I would absolutely recommend watching The Endless. I would also recommend watching Resolution. In what order, that's buyer's choice. It seems like you're going to get a good experience either way. So that should about do it for my review of The Endless. I thank you for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. If you like these videos, please click subscribe. And other than that, next time you want to watch a horror movie, first make sure that it's good and rotted.